In a small desert town lived a young man named Arman. He was kind and gentle, but he feared taking risks. Every coin he earned from small jobs, he carefully hid inside an old wooden box under his bed. He believed that saving money was the only way to stay safe. His parents had always told him, "Save for the future." So Arman followed their advice without ever questioning it. Arman worked as a helper in a tiny tea stall. His earnings were very little, but he walked home proudly each evening with a few coins in his pocket. While others bought fruit, snacks, or new clothes, Arman always said, "No, I cannot waste money. I must save." His friends teased him by calling him the coin collector, but Arman only smiled, thinking he was doing the right thing by saving every bit he could. One night, after a long tiring day, Arman opened his wooden box to count his savings. The coins inside were dusty and dull. Even after months of saving, the amount hardly seemed to grow. He felt disappointed, but he encouraged himself by saying, "Slow growth is still growth." With a sigh, he closed the box and pushed it back under his bed, hoping that one day it would be full. Life began to change in the town. Prices started rising quickly. Flour cost more, rice cost more, vegetables cost more, and even the tea at his stall became expensive. Arman felt the pressure of daily expenses. His earnings stayed the same, but everything else around him kept getting costly. Every time he bought something, it felt like his savings were melting away. Saving money became harder and more painful. One afternoon, while delivering tea to the busy market, Arman noticed an old woman selling small bags of herbs. Her stall was tiny and simple, but customers kept coming. They smiled, paid her, and left with their little bags. Arman stood watching silently. The woman noticed him and said gently, "Young man, money grows only when you give it life." Arman looked confused. She picked up a plant and said, "These grow. Coins do not." Her words stayed in his heart. That night, Arman lay awake, thinking about the wooden box that never grew heavier. He remembered how prices kept rising and how saving alone was not protecting his future. The next morning he went back to the woman and asked, "How can money grow?" She laughed softly and said, "You plant it in ideas, not in soil." She handed him a small packet of herb seeds and said, "Try this. Grow something." Arman hesitated. Buying the seeds meant spending his precious savings. But something inside him urged him to take a chance. At home, behind his little house, there was a dry patch of land. Arman cleaned it, loosened the soil, and planted the seeds. He watered them every morning before going to work. For days nothing happened. The soil looked dry and empty. Arman wondered if he had made a terrible mistake. But he kept caring for the plants, telling himself, "Everything needs time." Slowly, tiny green leaves appeared. Arman felt a spark of joy. The plants grew taller and stronger each day. Soon neighbors noticed the fresh herbs and asked if they could buy some. Arman shyly sold small bundles for a few coins. To his surprise, 1 week of selling herbs earned more than 1 month of saving coins. His little garden began to grow, and so did his confidence. As months passed, Arman expanded his garden using the money he earned from his herbs. His wooden box, once filled with slow-growing coins, was replaced by a living garden that brought steady income. For the first time in his life, Arman felt proud, independent, and hopeful. One quiet evening, Arman told a young boy from the town, "Saving money is good, but it is not enough. Money must be used wisely. When you invest in something that grows, your life grows too." The boy listened carefully. Arman smiled, knowing he had learned the lesson that changed his life forever.